Is it verdad or verdad? Dejo or dejó? Animal, animal, or animal? I'm going to show you a simple trick for always knowing where the stress goes in a Spanish word. We'll introduce a memory trick called the slippery cliff so that you can always remember how this works with any Spanish word you see. Let's dive in. Okay, here's the rule. So in Spanish, by default, you always accent the last stable syllable in a word. So what exactly is a stable syllable? Well, imagine that a Spanish word is like a platform that you're standing on at the edge of a cliff. We'll use the word you see here as an example. Imagine that you're walking on top of this word, and you want to get as close to the edge as you can without falling off the cliff. This little stick figure is going to start on the first syllable, then walk to the second syllable, and then on to the third syllable. And look, he didn't fall off. That last syllable, mal, is considered stable enough for this person to go right to the edge. So we've ended up on the last syllable, which is where the stress is going to be. So the way that we pronounce this word is animal. Now hang on a second, how do we know if a syllable is stable enough to hold this little guy up? Well, let's use another word, the one that you see here. So the little guy starts on the first syllable, but if he tries to get to the edge, that last syllable is not stable enough to hold him up. He slips right off the cliff, and that's because vowels are considered too slippery to be stable by themselves. So let's try this again. He doesn't want to fall off the cliff, so he's going to stay back from the edge. So he'll stay on es. So this is pronounced esto. Let's illustrate this again with this word. See if you can guess how close we can get to the edge without slipping off. The first syllable is safe, du, and so is the second syllable, ran. But the third syllable has a vowel right at the end. This little guy doesn't want to slip off, so he'll get as close as he can, which is the second to last syllable. All right, but now how about this word? On this word, we're going to walk right up to the edge. The final syllable is considered stable enough to hold the stress, because the letter R makes it stable enough at the end. So this is pronounced mejor. So you might be wondering, does that mean that the only slippery, unstable endings are vowels? Well, not quite. There are also two consonants that are considered too weak and slippery to hold someone up from falling off the edge. Those letters are N and S. So for example, imagine the little guy sees this word. He's not going to walk onto the edge because he doesn't trust the letter S to hold him up. The closest he's going to get is the second syllable, her. So this is mujeres. It's the same with this one. He doesn't trust the N at the end. So he's going to land on the second to last syllable, cri. So this is escriben. To help you remember this, think of the phrase, no sir, or maybe no señor. These words start with N and S. And it's what this little guy would say if he saw either N or S at the edge of the cliff there. He'd be like, no sir, I'm not getting that close to the edge. Okay, so let's try this out. I'm going to show you some Spanish words one at a time, and you should see if you can correctly predict which of the syllables is going to be stressed. Remember, you're looking for the last stable syllable of each word. First word, so this is pronounced azul with a stress on sul, because that's considered a stable syllable because it ends with a nice strong consonant. Here's the next word. So this is cafecito. The stress is on the second to last syllable because the last syllable isn't stable. Next. So this is esperas. Remember that the S at the end there is too slippery to stand on. Next. This is hablan. Next. Este. Next one. Terminan. Next. palabra. Next. Alrededor. And the stress is all the way at the end. Next. Verdad. All right, last one. Dejo. Before we wrap up, I want to point out another situation that sometimes confuses people who are learning Spanish. Check out this word. This word has 3 syllables, cor, re, and o. So what's the last stable syllable here? We obviously can't stand on the last one. It's a vowel and we'd slip off. Well, in cases like this, we are always allowed to stand on the second to last syllable. That's because we're not right at the edge, so we're not really in danger of slipping off. So this is pronounced correo. It's the same thing with these words. This is sean, this is creas, and this is paseo. Okay, and one last rule, and it's one you probably know. If a Spanish word has an accent mark, what Spanish speakers call a tilde, then no matter what, that is the stressed syllable. That's always, with no exception. So for example, check out this word. Here, the little guy is perfectly happy to stand on the edge because the little tilde is holding up that last syllable and keeping it very strong. The same is true with these words. Estás, cantó, bambú. All right, and that's it. Now you can pronounce any Spanish word that you see with the stress on the right syllable. Next, you should practice saying the words you see smoothly in context. At SpanishVideoCourse.com, we have a free course that you can use to practice all the top 1,000 words in Spanish in real sentence contexts, including thousands of audio examples with every word represented. This is a step-by-step course of 250 lessons, full of handy tips and tricks like you've seen in this video. Thousands of students have used this course to help them make Spanish second nature faster than ever. And it's all 100% free at SpanishVideoCourse.com. Meanwhile, subscribe to this channel for more study tips that'll get you speaking Spanish fluently faster than ever.